Must be around about beer o'clock anyway, hey?
There's dirt on my hands, strong like a tree. There's roots where I stand.
Alright guys, welcome to another Puumba adventure, DIY job. What we're going to do today is install a cable chain on the MSA drop down fridge slide. One of the main reasons why you will do it is obviously you're not going to get your fridge cable caught and jammed up and potentially rip it. I've done it before once in the past, and yeah, started looking at different ways of how to handle that. I did have one in the past as well, and I had it going up along the side here and going along this little gap along here. This cable came around to here and then dropped down. That was a drop down cable chain. Yesterday I went through and moved my wire, ran it through the floor. I've also got it hooked up to the fuse box just up here. What the major plan is today is to actually notch out a couple of these little bits here, these little raised ribs, just so the cable chain can actually sit in there nice and neat and not actually getting away with the bottom of the tray of the fridge slide. So we might as well get straight up into it. I'm going to attempt to use the die grinder with it, with a bit of cutting agent, just to notch it out. Hopefully I don't have to get the grinder out. If I need to get the grinder out, then so be it. I'll grind it, just notch it out with the grinder and then clean it up with this. We'll see how I go. Obviously safety glasses, it's going to be loud as hell, especially being in the aluminium box. So ear protection as well. I'm already half deaf, but you know, might as well protect what I've already got. Okay, you can see that I've notched it out. I've just given it a little touch-up paint. Just a little bit on this. Just while I'm waiting for that to dry, I've decided to chuck an Anderson plug in here as well. At least with the Anderson plug I can, if I ever have to replace the actual fridge cable itself, it's easy enough done. I can just unclick it, I don't have to chop it and go looking for it. So I'll do that now. What you can do, rather than going out and buying one of these, you'll see me do it later on with the other side. You can heat up the little terminal with a blowtorch and just melt solder in there and just pack the wire in there while the solder's hot. But because that's a bit difficult to do inside the canopy, I'm going to use the crimpers. Crimping, I always double crimp as well. These crimpers are only around about 25 bucks from J-Car. Okay, so that's screwed in now, nice and tight. I'll probably run another one through there later on, just after I put the cable track in. Now I've got the Anderson plug ready for the other end of it, and this one I'm actually going to solder it, so we'll go into the garage, I'll put it in the vise and show you how I do that. Okay, I've already stripped the wires, got the little lug in there. So all that we're going to do is use just you can buy these anywhere, Bunnings, any auto store, blowtorch with just one of the little camp stove little butane bottles. As we heat it up, we'll just drop the solder in, fill it up to about 3/4 of the way. Every now and again you have to heat it up again. From here, all that you do is you quickly take away the heat and quickly dump her in. If you need to, put a little bit more heat in there, and she's done. So that's it. no crimping required. So if you don't have a crimp, and as long as you do a bit of pre-planting, you can do it that way. Pretty strong. I've done a fair few like that. Another thing is, don't kind of over-engineer it and do this and then crimp it, because what will happen is you'll crack the solder and then you'll get a hot spot in there, and also voltage drop. Okay, as you can see, that's in all nice and neat. Now it's time to do the cable chain bit, which I'll jump in the other side and start working on that. And for all of you guys that have been watching the videos, give me a like and subscribe and comment if you enjoyed it. For all you guys that want to know, the supervisor's still there. He's keeping an eye on me from time to time. Comes up for a scratch. Okay, you can see the wiring there. Comes across here, that's notched out. I'm not sure I'm going to have to notch out this rear bit yet. But I'll have a look at that in a minute when I pull the fridge slide back. And that will pretty much go like that. And then as the fridge slide gets pulled back, that will come back like that. And then obviously when it will go back into place. Okay, so I worked out the length of the actual cable chain, and that I haven't actually pulled it out, but given that it's going all the way from the front to the back, it should be plenty of room. So now it's just time to screw this down into the frame here. This top rail here does not move anyway, so it's just the top frame. Screw that down there, and then I just got to do the loop bit going down. So I'll get onto that now. Okay, now it's time to do the drop down bit. I've got that thing all sorted out. I ran a couple of cable ties. I'm going to change this out a little bit, which I'll go through a bit later. So I've had a little bit of on my old setup on how I had a bit of aluminium up here, just a bit of angle line, and I've just mounted one bit onto that. So it's just the wire's just going to come through here, up through there, up through the cable chain, and then it'll come down into this one here. Okay, you can see here that I've got a clamp. That's only there because I've got a little cable tie thing, and the pads on them are pretty crappy, so I've just super glued it. I've just got it there holding it into place while I'm working still. So yeah, it seems to be working just how it's meant to. Okay, now you don't have to actually run your fridge plug all the way to the front, depending on which Waco you got as well. Mine's a 95, and I kind of prefer to have a little bit of extra room, and if I am ever do end up pinching a cord or something happens, I can always rob a little bit of extra and turn it around the other way. Also, another reason why I'm doing that is I always have the 240 volt plug in there. So just before I trip, I usually plug it into the main power just to get it up and running. Obviously it performs a little bit better. As I mentioned before, you got these square ones, and then you got these more rounded ones. The more rounded ones would be better for both, but I just went with whichever way I could. I also around the ends, I'm not sure if you can see there's a couple of cable ties just to stop them from popping out. So that's a little tip there as well. Alright, lift it up and hopefully it doesn't make a fool out of me. That works alright. Pull her out. You always hard to do when they've got no weight in them. That's how it looks. There's that little bracket, that little bit of aluminium angle line that I had just lying around. So that would just go up against the fridge anyway. Not really fussed about that. Right, time to put the fridge in. It's all in now. Obviously, as I said before, I kept the power cable always connected for whenever I'm going camping. And you can see there's just a little bit of a loop there of the actual fridge cable along the side here. Nice and neat. Comes around the back, across there, up the cable chain. So the Anderson plug there, and then obviously that goes up into my fuse box. Okay, obviously I showed you the difference between the cable chains before, which ones were better to get. There's also another option you can go these wider ones. So if you're going to run, I don't know, if you've got a temp sensor or something like that, and you want to put a fan in as well, obviously go to the bigger ones. Same thickness, it's just a bit wider. Can't think of anything else to talk about it. Job's all done now. Generally it should only take a couple of hours. Mine took a little bit longer. I had a bit of stuffing around and people come over and interrupted me in between. Job's all done anyway, that's the main thing. I'll put a photo up. I'm just going to put a bit of angle line over the top of where the bottom one actually meets up, just to protect it so I don't end up smashing it. If you like the video, give me a like and subscribe. It always helps. It's a good feeling whenever somebody subscribes to your channel. Apart from that, take care. Cheers.